Pittsburgh Soccer Now, and we have a very special edition of uh, Pittsburgh Riverhound interviews features because today I'm interviewing two players, not one, two for the price of one. And this is an all Long Island roundtable. I've got a couple guys here that are from where I grew up, and I didn't grow up in Massapequa, but we got two players from the same team in the USL. What are the chances of that aren't in the same hometown area? From one very specific town or village, whatever you want to call it, in Nassau County, Long Island, New York. So I have with me Danny Vitiello and Dakota Barnathan. So the two newer Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Guys, it's great to have you on.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So how are you guys surviving? Well, before we get it, we're going to get into some in-depth kind of stuff about the season and where you guys are. But just your experience in Pittsburgh so far, what do you like about it? What are the pros and cons about being in the Steel City?
Danny, you want to take that first?
Yeah, sure. I'm liking it so far. I mean, obviously with the current situation, I haven't been able to check out all the spots that I've wanted to, but I've been downtown. I've been to a couple parks. I've been to the river down there, and it's been great to me so far. I'm enjoying it, and obviously the soccer is good here too. The view is great from the stadium. Me and Dakota always talk about it when we walk in, but yeah, it's been good to me so far. I'm enjoying being here.
Yeah, I think similar to what Danny said, it's been tough, obviously, with everything that's been going on in 2020. But I think as of late, we've been able to maybe do a little bit more, as in like some of the parks started to open. I know I just went to North Park, which is right up around where we live, and able to rent like a kayak and a paddleboard. So I think, we're seeing that side of Pittsburgh right now. And hopefully as 2020 continues, things start to open up more. We can start to really experience the city as a whole.
Have you had Permane Brothers yet?
Had what? No, but I was watching a show about Pittsburgh, and that's the main thing that they talk about food-wise. Does it live up to the hype?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, just throw everything you can on a sandwich. I mean, just imagine French fries and kind of a vinegar-based coleslaw and just whatever meat you like or whatever you like. That just make a sandwich. It's a blue-collar sandwich, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty representative of the city, I'd say.
Absolutely. It's not like those Long Island delis, right?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, that's almost an art.
That's true. That's right. So why don't we take a step back? Both of you are from Massapequa. So what was the experience of growing up on Long Island playing soccer, and what type of soccer culture did you guys grow up around? Obviously, you probably played from the youth level up, but what was it like maybe in a place like Massapequa?
You want to start, Dakota?
I never really the only time I really ever played in Massapequa was for the high school.
Okay.
So for me, I always I played for a club called Gotchi, which was in Queens, which is where I originally started playing soccer and then moved to Long Island. And I kind of always just stayed playing out there in Queens with Gotchi, and then they turned to Cosmos, but now they're back to Gotchi. So for me, my high school experience was my only time I ever really got to play for or really in my town at all. So I'd say that for me was something pretty special to do that because it didn't happen very often. So when it did, that to me was my way of being in the town and being able to get, show my thing, because I wasn't in the Massapequa Soccer Club youth system.
Yeah, I was a little different than that. I grew up in Massapequa playing soccer in Massapequa. I played for a club called Massapequa Arsenal my whole entire life with Honestly, it started out with like all my best friends, like kids that I went to elementary school with, and then middle school, and then turned out high school too. But every summer we'd be off school. We would have about 8 to 10 kids ride their bikes to parks around in Massapequa, and we would obviously play soccer and enjoy that during summers. And then when the soccer season started for club ball, we would just go right into that. And then as we got older, we would a couple of my buddies went their own way and to go into Catholic schools and private schools like that. But I stuck around in Massapequa. That's where I ran into Dakota over here. Yeah, I mean, soccer was the only thing we liked to do back in the school days and the high school days. That's where I met all my friends. And yeah.
What was the first time you guys met? And just kind of, I know, Dakota, you're a little older, right? So
Yeah, so when I was, how old was I? Was I junior or senior then?
You were a senior probably, yeah.
Yeah. And then we called them up to varsity.
Yeah, I got called up to varsity in the middle of my 10th grade year. I started the year with the JV team, and then they decided to pull me up for like halfway through the season. And Dakota was the guy on the team, the stud. And I
This guy.
them.
let them down, right?
No, he didn't actually. He did not at all. And much like his recent performances, I've said to a couple of the guys on the team, he comes up for the moments. He's there for the moments, which I think is a very good trait to have as a young goalkeeper. And I think that's something that you're not necessarily, you can't really acquire over time. And it's something that you just got in you. And since the kid got pulled up from JV to varsity, he's always been able to step up for the moment.
Cool. So both of you, and I don't want to overdo the whole New York, Long Island thing, but I had two things I want to get out of the way, and then we could kind of go on. But
Sure.
One is just, again, being, growing up in the 2000, in the 21st century in that area, did you go to, Red Bulls, NYFC, was obviously Long Island had the Rough Riders for a little while, but there was not really a professional soccer presence. But was there any key influences for both of you in that area?
I mean, I went to a few New York Red Bull games, and Long Island Rough Riders were a big thing when I was younger. I would go to a couple of their games, but yeah, I would always be watching MLS and New York Red Bulls, just enjoying it whenever they were playing, just watching and seeing whatever I could learn from. And then obviously you have the leagues over in Europe I'd be watching too, just to enjoy.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I'd say pretty similar to that, is that I think for the kids that did grow up on Long Island, there wasn't really a professional soccer culture coming out of Long Island. But I think that's a little bit what has given Long Island a good name for soccer, is that everybody's kind of hungry to put Long Island on the map in regards to that.
Yeah, and I'm wearing Long Island soccer culture right now. As you can see here, this is a New York Arrows.
There you go.
So that's 4 straight. I think it was 4 straight years they won the MIS, the Indoor Soccer League title.
Yeah, the indoor one.
Bob Lilly, I'm sure, can tell you stories about the Arrows. And actually, there was a former Hounds coach, Mark Steffens, who was from Long Island himself, from Syosset, who coached.
Oh, yeah.
Had actually a stint with the Arrows as well. But anyway, I've digressed. But yeah, I mean, so I'm just curious now. Both of you have had this experience where you both have been professionals. Going into the 2020 year. Danny, you just started out with Nashville, but Dakota, you were with Swope Park and Ottawa as well. how did you both end up here in a tryout? Was it, were you guys talking to each other through this process? Was it just,
I mean, I think it came to a surprise to me. When I got here, they said his name was like on the list, and I was looking at it. I kind of just did a double take. I was like, maybe. I was like, because he played with mutual friends at Nashville, and obviously, like, I knew where he was. We have chatted about it when he was leaving Albany and during that process and becoming a pro, and it was just kind of really funny to, like, I saw it on the list and just did a double take, and I think, pretty much from then I shot him a text message. I think you got dinner, like, as soon as you got in.
No, yeah, I remember. I think I was flying the day after, and I got a text from him saying, like, "Are you coming to Pittsburgh?" And I was like, "Yeah. How'd you know that?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm actually here. I just left the meeting or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, well, at least I have someone."
Yeah, it was cool. It's always good to have a familiar face for sure.
Yeah, and we're locker buddies, so
exactly.
And we had the lockers next to each other.
So I meant to ask too, when you were talking about the high school experience, what were the 2 years like when you two played together? I know Massapequa has a pretty good program, pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had success. Danny's got a little bit more of a, better story than I guess I do. In my high school days, he's got himself a state championship. But no, I mean, for me, like, that was we went to Long Island, I think my junior year, and just I loved high school. It was just a time where soccer really was just, like, absolute pure fun, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean,
that's because I don't have such a great story as Danny. I don't have a state championship, but it's okay.
I think we played for 1 year together, right?
Yeah.
I think we made it to either the semifinals or the finals, and it was pretty cool. I mean, they were kind of like putting their arm around me and saying, "Hey, this is what it's kind of like," and we were playing in front of some big crowds. I think we played, what was it, like Port Washington or Port Jeff or something. And
Plainview, I think it was.
Plainview, and we won like 5-4 or something.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Crazy game.
We gotta love those high scoring games. I was covering the Hounds playoff game at Red Bull Arena about 5 years ago. I was stunned. New Jersey. It was a game. It was like 8,000 people. I don't know if it's like that on Long Island, but it was like 8,000 people there for a rivalry game before the Hounds played Red Bulls too. It was just blown away by, the passion and how much people were really into the match between those two New Jersey schools in that area. Now there was like a lot of history between those schools and stuff, but obviously that's why I'm always shocked that Long Island doesn't have at least a USL. I know it's exciting to see Queensborough kind of maybe come into the picture in the next couple of years.
No, I agree, and I think that's something that there's always whispers of what Rough Riders trying to join League One, and people are always trying to do stuff out in Suffolk County, and I think that's kind of what Long Island's definitely in search for and need for, is a pro atmosphere of some sort out on Long Island for soccer.
Yeah, soccer in Long Island's pretty big already, but I think you would see a lot of growth if you saw like a professional environment like that out there somewhere.
And now they're hearing rumblings about Messi coming to NYFC potentially if he.
And maybe in 3+ years. But it'll be great. I mean, that's.
It'll fill the seats. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah, you can't not welcome him with open arms.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you're both here in Pittsburgh. When you came in, Bob's obviously you went through that whole process. Maybe each of you walk me through, going on trial and then just kind of what it's been like to play for Bob Lilly, the man, the myth, the coach that he, the legendary coach that he is. What's it like playing for him?
I think it's intense, but I definitely think it's something that you have to want, and you do crave it about the game at points. Like in training, it is held to such a high standard, but I mean, it only wants the best out of you and out of the team. And that's why the man, the myth, the legend that you say is successful, is because he's able to get the most out of players and the people on his team, which I think that's really all you could ask for in a coach. When you do come somewhere, even in on trial, is that he is going to try to help you and get you better.
Yeah, there are times where, especially in the preseason, where he pulls you over like in the middle of the game, right? He starts talking to you, like, what are you doing in that situation? You're trying to concentrate, but he's also talking to you. I've seen him.
Yeah, I'd say there's never not a good time to coach.
Danny, what's it like being a keeper? Obviously, Bob has got a great reputation in terms of being a defensive-minded coach and had a lot of success. What's it like playing with the way you guys are playing right now with that 3 center back formation and just having a veteran group in front of you? What's that like?
I mean, it's good. I mean, every player on the field knows what he expects of you, so it's easy to play when you know what your job is and being able to know the plan going into the match. It's very good. It's very easy for a keeper like me when your center backs have a certain job and he gets it across to them what they need to do. I mean, it makes my job easy, and it obviously makes him the legend that he is and how good of a coach he is.
So about halfway through this campaign, obviously this 2020 has just been a year unlike any other for both of you. What was it like during that stoppage period? And did you go back home? What was going on between March and I guess, what was it, mid-June or so when you came back?
Yeah, I went back to Long Island. For me, it was just pretty much exactly like what we're doing here, Zoom calls, but we're doing it with the team Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we were just doing workouts with the team. So I'd say it was a lot of working out on our own and just getting ready for when we did get the call to come back.
Yeah, I went back to Nashville. My fiance lives down there, and we, like you said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we would do Zoom workouts with the team, and then during that, I'd be training, running, body workouts. I mean, just playing a lot of video games, watching whatever I can, and just trying to stay in the best shape possible.
Yeah. So in terms of both of your roles with the team now, I know, Danny, you congratulations for being named USL Team of the Week. That's a pretty cool honor. And, after last year in Nashville, kind of waiting your chance, finally getting a chance, I'm sure there's some satisfaction there. But also, what's it like having to be ready at any time? You obviously got an experienced keeper in front of you, but you're learning a lot and getting those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the goalkeeping position. I mean, any league, any goalkeeper will tell you, you just gotta wait your turn. Whatever chance is given to you, you got to take it. I've been learning from guys that have been around the league. Obviously top keepers in the USL, MLS, wherever they've played. But yeah, you just gotta stay focused in training. You gotta make the most out of every situation. And again, once your name gets put on the roster, you just gotta be ready.
Yeah, and Dakota, same for you. I mean, you have, obviously, you've got some experience in the back line, but you can also help as a midfielder. I mean, is that what Bob's looking for, that versatility?
I think it's an attribute that he does like about players. I think even like myself, I can play in the back or in the midfield. Got players like Ryan James, who's done the same this year. Thomas Van Kuyzeel, who can do the same. Even look at Steven Dos Santos dropping into the midfield. I think, like Danny says, he expects players to be able to understand a game plan and apply it. And I think, like you said, anytime your name is on the call sheet, at what position, you got to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, I enjoy it, though. I think that's one thing, like, about being here for me. I've always, even in college, I moved around, like, started in all 10 different positions throughout college. And
you
for
went
me,
VCU, right?
Yeah, Virginia Commonwealth. And that's something I've always, like, enjoyed and liked about my game as well, that I was able to adapt to different positions at different times. And being able to be called on and trusted in all these different positions.
I wanted to stay with you real quick. I just realized this during this call here that you were with Swope Park in 17, right?
Yeah.
So you were part of that team that made the run to the finals.
Yeah. I played every minute in the playoffs that year.
Yeah, you had two former Riverhounds as teammates. Obviously, Tyler Pashew was just tearing it up, and Lebo Loto, who obviously had an impact here for a couple of years when he was very young.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, playing with that team and with those guys?
It was a very professional group, I'd say. That being my first year, I went to college with Carlton Belmar, who was coming off being a USL Rookie of the Year for the Portland Timbers too. So for me, it was a locker room that had a lot of talent in it, and the professionalism about the group, I think, is what made me be able to just kind of slide in there and be able to perform when my moment was called. Similar to like here, we were a group that kind of always expected the best from their players and always to get the result. And I think that's really the energy and the mindset that helped carry that 2017 to a Western Conference Championship. Like, we went to 11 rounds of PKs, played in the first round game. We had to come back the next day and play the second half of the game against Phoenix, and then PKs. Like, there was definitely a lot in that locker room, professionalism-wise, that led us to doing a really special thing, which is honestly something that I see here as well. Like, in the locker room, it's a good group of guys that are always together, and that we do, like, when things are going well, we're always there for each other. And, you know, we took a couple on the chin a couple weeks ago, but there was no pouting around. It was, we knew what we need to do to get back to it.
Danny, talking about locker room culture, you experienced a year in Nashville, which was probably a very unique season and a very unique place to play.
Oh yeah, it was pretty much the same with the professionalism. I mean, a lot of older guys who have been around the league. I played with Lebo Moloto too, and Taylor Washington. I think Taylor was here.
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah. I mean, they're all just, you know, put their head down and grind. You know, it's just all about, you know, doing their best for the team, putting themselves in the best situation possible, and just being a good professional, whether it be coming in early to get a lift in, staying after to get some extra work on the ball. I mean, it taught me a lot, and definitely will stay with me throughout the future.
So, kind of parting thoughts in terms of you know, where you guys are now. You got 7 games left, 3 against Hartford, which is really are going to be important matches. What are you guys' thoughts on how things will go in the next 7 games, and how you guys, you know, need to prepare? I think Bob was asked the question about, you know, is the team aware of how important every match is from this point forward? And he seemed to say that was the case. But is that really, I'd like to hear you guys kind of what your thoughts are on that.
I think this being a condensed season, from the beginning, we've known how important each point is and each game is. This kind of being that, like, halfway point, as it would be, I guess, with the 16-game season. We've no longer have any games out of conference, and I think in those out-of-conference games, there's a lot for us to really learn about ourselves as a team, and it's only like things that we can help and that are going to make us more prepared for these last 7 games in our run for playoffs.
Yeah, I think the season is all in our hands, you know. Obviously, we have 3 big games against Hartford and then 4 against other division rivals. So, I mean, we take it one game at a time. We got to make each point count. You just got to grind and put good results on the field and good performances.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that. See how things go in the next 7 weeks or so. I think it must be nice to kind of spread things out a little bit more and not have as many midweek games and things like that. I know there'll be a few kind of weird things going on with the schedule, but that looks like that'll be an advantage, at least down the stretch. It's not going to be as compact schedule as
I mean, there's some other teams that are definitely going through it, but that's what 2020 has to offer for us.
All right, so final thoughts here. Again, I meant to ask you, both from Long Island, both from Massapequa. How many famous people come out of Massapequa? It seems like a ton. Are you guys bigger fans of Alec Baldwin or Jerry Seinfeld? Both Massapequa guys.
I love Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, Seinfeld is awesome.
Yeah, that's proud. I'm actually rewatching it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Danny, you have any preference there?
I think Jerry Seinfeld's hilarious, so I think that's what
that's my guy.
Say on it.
I guess the pride of Massapequa, right? Jerry Seinfeld, of course.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Any specific stand-up routine or episode that stands out to either one of you?
The double dip episode's always funny. And then I like the double dip, and then
he's double dipping now, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
I was going around. I'm sure Jerry has a lot. I'm sure he said a few things about it already, but yeah, that. It's funny how some of that stuff hasn't aged very well, but it's still pretty funny, huh?
I know. He's a character.
All right. Well, we know Alec Baldwin is too, and yeah. Absolutely. So gotta love Massapequa. So you guys were beach guys. Did you go down to the Jones Beach, or did you have a specific beach that you went to?
Tobay.
Tobay, that's right, because we live in the town of Oyster Bay, just like I live in Bristol, so that was our beach, right?
Yeah, Tobay. I would jump around to Jones Beach, maybe even Long Beach sometimes. I had some family over there, so.
Well, it sounds good. I wish I could be on a beach right now, but it's no complaints talking to you guys at the moment. No complaints at all being in the great city of Pittsburgh. So it's great.
No complaints at all.
With that? I
said no complaints at all.
All right. Well, it's great talking to you guys. Unfortunately, I can't get down to practices, so this is the best I can do is do these.
No worries. Yeah, we understand, of course.
Great to get to know you guys a little bit better, and hopefully, we'll bump into each other and see each other down at some of the last few games.
For sure.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
All right, guys. Good luck the rest of the way, and we looking forward to talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
All
right. Thanks.